This one is from Joyce on Facebook. She says she is working on a painting of Jesus's Last Supper, with the seating, the table setting, and the actual foods. She wanted to know what type of foods are there. Was there unleavened bread? Was there wine? Were there olives? That's the gist of her
Were there
question.
olives? Okay. Well, there were olives on the Mount of Olives, I will tell you that, but they probably weren't ripe at that season quite yet. What was on the table? First of all, there was unleavened bread, and they ate it. The Lord Jesus, when he said, "This is my body," he was taking a piece of unleavened bread and said, "This is a symbol." Well, this is my body, is what he says. But I think he clearly is talking about a symbol, and the reason why is, yes, there was horseradish on the table. Likely there was salt water as well, because at a Jewish Passover meal, you took greens like parsley, so that would have been on the table, and you dipped it in salt water. The green represents life. The salt water represents tears, and it says, when we were slaves in Egypt, our lives were dipped or immersed in tears. And so there was salt water to represent tears. There was the green vegetable to represent our lives. There was horseradish, or a bitter herb ground up, the sop that the New Testament talks about. That was ground up horseradish. That indicates our lives were filled with bitterness. This was bitterness. And so there were a variety of things like that. So yes, there was horseradish. There was parsley, kind of green vegetable. There was salt water, all those elements. There was the lamb that they offered. So they ate lamb. Whether they're olives, I don't know. But all that. And they all, now what I think is significant about all these items, and this is, I know a lot of my friends want to find some spiritual presence of the Lord Jesus in these items, and they say, look, he said, "This is my body," when he held up the matzah. Well, everything at the Seder table was symbolic. When you point at the salt water, these are our tears. When you point at the horseradish, this is our bitterness. So when the Lord Jesus held up the matzah and said, "This is the unleavened bread, the matzah," when he held it up and said, "This is my body," no one at that table would have said, "Oh, he's talking about a spiritual presence within the body." They would have said, "Aha, this is a symbol of his body," just as the horseradish is a symbol of our bitterness, as the salt water is a symbol of our tears. And so that's what would have been on the table. And olives, I don't know. There's nothing significant about olives, so I don't know.